Hey man, what's up? Spill your guts. How was your last interview? Bad man. I think I'm beating a dead horse. Don't worry, my friend. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. Whoa. Spill your guts. Beating a horse, skinning a cat. What are they talking about? Hello, awesome people, and welcome back to English Fluency with Albert. In this lesson, we're going to look at some very strange idioms that, believe it or not, every English speaker uses during their everyday natural conversations. As always, at the end of this video, you're also going to find a final quiz so you can test how many you remember. Let's begin with the first one. Bite your tongue.
I think I could actually discipline myself to bite my tongue and not to do the things I want to do.
Genuinely, the best thing to do is just to bite your tongue. They're not worth your energy.
So Janet Jackson opened up about the Super Bowl incident and didn't bite her tongue when it came to the disparity of blame.
This idiom basically means that you want to speak, you want to say your opinion, but you stop yourself and you say nothing to avoid saying something inappropriate or offensive. So, quite literally, you bite your tongue with your teeth. And this is the tongue here, this is the tongue. And you bite it. This way, you can talk. But don't worry, nobody does it literally, alright? For example, you disagree with a decision at work, but you decide to bite your tongue to avoid useless arguments. On the other hand, my friend, never bite your tongue on things that are important to you. But if something is small and unimportant, you might wanna bite your tongue and avoid making a mountain out of a molehill.
You know the saying, making a mountain out of a molehill? It means to make a big deal about something minor.
There's no sense making a mountain out of a molehill, right?
Is the situation a big deal? Yes, no. Do you think people are making a mountain out of a molehill? Let me know.
This idiom means creating a mountain of problems for something very small, like a molehill. What's a molehill? Well, these are molehills. They are made by little fairy creatures, they're called moles. Now, compare a molehill with a mountain, and you see why you say you're creating big problems out of something very small. If, for example, you feel sick, which means you don't feel well, and you're making a tragedy, well then they may tell you, you've just got a cold. Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. Speaking of being sick, here is the next one. To be sick of it.
Like by the time you're like in your teens, you're just like sick of it and you want to get out and live your life.
Nova could say Adrian Everhart a million times and I would not get sick of it.
Even if you're thinking about, I need to get out of here, I'm sick of being here. People need to see that on your face.
You can use this idiom to say you don't like something that is constantly in front of you. And for this reason, just seeing it makes you sick. This idiom is really used because, well, there are a lot of things we don't like, yet we have to do them or see them anyway. For example, if at work you have to do a task very repetitive, you can say, I'm sick of it, this is too repetitive. Or again, if you want to change your habits, you can say, I'm sick of this routine, I want something different for a change. Do you like routines? I don't like them very much because, you know, when you do something over and over, eventually you need a change. Otherwise, it's like beating a dead horse.
Now you might be thinking, Steve, bro, you've already covered this argument. You're beating a dead horse.
If over time there's still no attraction, you're just beating a dead horse.
While you're at it, maybe Google beating a dead horse. The phrase.
Why would you beat a dead horse, Mr. Chuck? That doesn't sound nice.
What an embarrassing idiom. I don't want you to take it literally, alright? Nobody is going around beating any horse. English people are crazy, but not this much. This idiom only means talking about the same thing without doing anything about it. Because when an animal is dead, you can't move it, no matter how much you beat it. This is the logic. Can you see how sick this is? Einstein said the same thing much more elegantly. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Same meaning, no horse. Say you have to write a school assessment, but after writing the first paragraph, you just don't know how to continue. Then you can say, I better stop beating a dead horse and moving on with the rest of the assessment. Tom keeps trying to get his book published, but I think he's beating a dead horse. Poor Tom, he tried many times already. Unfortunately, they won't publish his book. If you're thinking that this idiom is bad, wait till you hear the next one. The next idiom is even more popular and even more strange. Here, spill your guts.
Just ask, and you never know. They might be ready to spill their guts about how great, architecture is.
All you had to do was stare at him for just a couple of seconds, and he'd spill his guts about whatever it is he was trying to hide.
This means that as tempting as it may be, it's important not to spill your guts out to him, because if you do, you could send him running.
This disgusting idiom is used to ask someone to share all the details about something. The gut is this part here, your stomach, and the guts, plural, is what's inside. So when you're asking someone to spill your guts, you're asking to take everything off, alright? Every little detail. In other words, it means you're very curious and you're asking the other person to tell you everything in order to satisfy your curiosity. Once again, why use guts to talk about something so normal? But I'm probably beating a dead horse. Susan said she was seeing someone and Lily, her best friend, asked her to spill her guts. Lily was very curious and she wanted to know all the little juicy details like who the guy is, how did they meet, and so on. During your next job interview, don't spill your guts on every previous experience you had. This is also very important advice because during a job interview, you only want to say what's important for the position you want. If you're applying as an accountant, you don't need to tell them that you worked at McDonald's 3 years ago. That would be like spilling your guts, revealing useless information. Alright, I said I had 5 idioms, but actually there's one more that I want to share. It's also very terrifying. If you want to stop watching, this is the right moment. Are you ready? There's more than one way to skin a cat.
All right, so there's always more than one way, in this case, 3 different ways to skin the cat. Hopefully, you'll find this technique useful.
I'm a big believer that there are going to be different ways to skin the cat on this thing.
You just have to think about the fact that there's many ways you can skin a cat, and that has kind of been a theme of growing this company.
Put simply, this idiom only means that there are more ways than one to achieve a goal. Like, apparently, there are more than one ways to take the skin off a cat. I know, right? Why does it need to be so gruesome? Why use such a terrifying idiom? If you want to grow your muscles, you don't need to get a gym membership. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Because you can always train outdoors, or you can run, or you can play a team sport even. So there's definitely more than one way. Alright, let's see how many idioms you remember. Number 1. Mary said something you didn't like, but you decided to say nothing. Which idiom did you use? And the answer was I better bite my tongue, because this idiom is perfect when you prefer to say nothing to avoid arguing or offending. Alright, number 2. Which idiom would you use to say you can learn English in many ways? And the answer, of course, was there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you guessed it, well done, my friend. Now, number 3. Stop beating a dead horse. What does it mean? And the answer was stop wasting your energy on something useless. This was a little more difficult. So if you guessed it, congratulations, my friend. You've just learned 6 strange idioms native speakers use every day. But on the other hand, none of these idioms are useful if you don't learn to express your opinions properly first. What's the best way to lower the tension during an argument? What expressions should you avoid at all costs? This video shows you everything you need to know. Yeah, you're supposed to click now. Cheers.